Okay, sorry. Hey, Rifters, welcome to the show. Subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend. It's gonna be great. Annie Letterman's gonna be here. Uh, Annie's a terrific stand-up comedian. Uh, you've seen her on Comedy Central. You've seen her on the E Channel. You've seen her on Chelsea lately. You also have heard her on many, many podcasts. I was doing my research and I was listening to so many podcasts because I don't like to ask the same questions. Sometimes, you know, there's nothing really you can do, because things do get overlapped and stuff. But she's on every single podcast. She was on Trash Tuesdays, and I'm just talking about being a guest. Like these were her podcasts. She was on Trash Tuesdays, and her podcast is Annie Wood. Uh, so those are like, if you subscribe to Annie Wood right now, that would really support her and help her out. But she's also a guest on everyone. She was on Whitney Cummings, the great Michael Rosenbaum. Hey, Michael, if you listen, miss you, buddy. I would love to do your podcast. Ha, I'm not too famous though. Um, she was on Whitney Cummings. She was on Joe Rogan's. Like she's on every single podcast. And I think I counted just on my podcast thing. I think I counted like 30 interviews she's done. And I think I only listened to like two or three. Like it's really hard to listen to that much. But I think that's also what I kind of like about her is because like, there's a lot of comics who actually do enjoy helping other comics out doing their podcast. So I think that that's pretty cool. I worked with her in San Diego with TJ, and I really liked her. I thought she was very fun and funny. And yeah, so, I've been bugging her for a few months about this, and we finally got it to nail down the coffin, as folks like to say. In 2025, I am doing the Irvine Improv with TJ Miller the first week of the second week in January. That is on my website already at www.keithreza.com. Follow the show on Patreon, support us, and www.patreonrazorriff61.com. And I've officially decided, I thought about this really hard. After Alan's passing, I thought, okay, maybe Victor will just be the trusty sidekick for the rest. But then I thought about, and I was just thinking, you know what? I'm probably never going to have a co-host again. And here's the reason, because I feel a podcast is 45 minutes, maybe an hour. And I feel like there's just too many questions. There's too much. And the fact that it's my podcast, my questions have to be asked first. And then I feel like I'm kind of a jerk to the co-host because they only get one or two questions in when I think that's, it's an experience. So I feel maybe selfishly, I think that's what I'm just going to do is just have it be me for a while. I'm like 99.9% on that vibe. But if you guys have different views, you can email us at razorriffs@gmail.com. All right, guys. This is very important. Subscribe, rate, and review. Help the algorithm. Help the algorithm. I cannot say that word. Retake. Help the algorithms. Exactly. Yes, you have to help the algorithms. See, I said the same thing, but I said it in a different way. Okay. Help the podcast. Yeah. And you got to subscribe, rate, review, and tell a friend because it really does help. And it helps me get guests and all that stuff. All right, guys. Enjoy Razor Riffs with Annie Letterman coming up shortly. This is a good time to subscribe, rate, review.
From Hollywood, California, welcome to Razor Riffs with your host, Keith Reza.
Hey, Annie. Oh, I lost Annie. Oh, hey, Annie.
Reza, what the fuck?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm ready to get razor bladed.
Razor blade? Oh.
By the razor himself.
Hey, I wanted to show you something really cool because you're the first guest that this is on, with it. But like I ordered this on my birthday. My birthday was in early July, and it came today. It says Razor Riffs.
Whoa.
Holy Lord.
It.
Yeah.
Does it light up or anything?
Yeah, it lights up, and I was gonna like thumbnail it, but the thumbnails I got, they were the wrong size.
Oh my
So I have to
God.
get the
Why is it
smaller.
so difficult?
I know. I thought they were all the same size, these thumbnails. You know what I mean?
I don't know anything. I do none of that. I can't even, I have no clue what any of those things are.
Oh my God.
Look at this.
Oh,
Have you ever seen a more perfect thing?
a dog?
Look at this perfect dog. Look at his pee-pee. It's small. He's got a micro.
Oh, his micros in his penis?
He's got,
Yeah.
look,
Oh,
and there's pee-pee on it.
oh, cool. For the folks at home.
Guys, listen, there's a tiny micro penis. Oh yeah, this is not videoed, right?
No, this is audio.
I'll put the props away.
So like that's why I was like saying for the folks at home, I was gonna like describe it. But hey, how
Describe
are
it.
you? Oh, you have a cute little dog. I don't know my dogs. So what kind of dog is it?
He's like a multiple. Look, he's upside down.
He's up.
Oh my God. I love an audio podcast. You really can mess with the audience.
I was gonna say
hope they
you
have
have
good
a cute
imagination.
little Rottweiler or something.
He's a ruh-roh.
But no. But hey, thank you
He's a
so
big Reza Riffs. How do you say it?
Razor Riffs, yeah.
Raise the riffs. Oh my God, it's like raising the roof.
Yeah. I could tell he's a big fan because he's sleeping.
He is like most of her friends.
But yeah. But hey, I wanted to say thank you so much for taking time. I know you're very, very busy and so thank you for
I'm
taking
less
time.
busy than I am ADD, Keith.
Oh, it's the same.
I'm busy, but I'm hard to tack down.
Yeah. Yeah, you're hard to tack down. But hey, I was thinking of that would because you texted me the other day because like I was telling you how like I've been listening to a whole bunch of interviews you've done, so I don't ask the same question. Then you texted me and you said I'm unhinged. And I was thinking that that's a perfect name for your special,
Unhinged.
right?
Yeah.
Because you are.
I don't know what the hell. But here's the thing. What is the special? Who knows? Wait, TJ came up with it. You'll like this. This was another option for the title. Shit talker with a heart of gold.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Because I know my shit talking was very shocking to you, even though you told me gossip that was crazier than any gossip I've ever told anyone in my life.
I did?
I won't reveal it. Yes.
Oh my God.
I would say, I'm not going to tell you what it was on here.
Was I drunk on Diet Coke?
You were hammered on whatever, aspartame.
Yeah, that's my true serum, the Diet Coke-ness. I don't know.
I drugged you.
Oh, no. No, I mean, I mean, if I was, I apologize. I feel like I always say stuff that I'm willing to say to whoever I'm talking's face.
Yes,
so.
me as well. I feel the same way. TJ was like, wow, Annie, you really like talk a lot of shit. I'm like, I think you do too. I don't. And then he was like, you really think you don't talk shit? I was like, I guess I do.
Well, no, there's a difference I feel of talking shit and then saying like an opinion. You know what I mean? And I feel comics. I mean, I get this mixed up too. I feel comics get that, reversed sometimes. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just kind of have a little bit like verbal diarrhea where if someone, it's like I'm always like it's like if someone's like, all right, I'm just gonna say one word where like someone says someone's name, and I will just blabber like everything I know about them. Every like changing opinion I've had of them, everything I've ever thought.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Whether they mean it or not.
I don't think that's talking shit though. I think that's an opinion. I think talking shit's more slanderish. You know what I mean? Like stuff that may or may not be true without proof or whatever, and you're just saying it to damage someone's reputation. Does that make sense?
And it's like wanting ill will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. But no, hey, so I was listening and I heard you say that you do hypnotizing stuff, like you hypnotize people.
Well,
Huh?
I was trained in it, but I'm not actually comfortable doing it because I'm so ADD and I didn't show up to all my classes. So I didn't really like fully learn it.
Oh,
So
really?
I never actually did it on people, but I did. Why were you gonna ask me to hypnotize you?
No, I was just gonna say like because I don't really believe in that, but I wanted to see like if
Oh,
I was gonna say if you hypnotize people, like does it work or like because I
I
would
have been hypnotized,
oh
not like to be like a chicken, but which by the way are dinosaurs, which is so weird that we just chop them up and eat them. But
no
I
I
just found
know.
that out.
And
How
did you
crazy
know
is that?
dinosaurs were actually very small? Like Jurassic Park
Which is,
movies make them seem big, but in reality they were small like chickens.
and by the way, we'd never be talking about them if we knew they were short. The only reason we talk about dinosaurs is because they were like tall kings. And now that we know they're short kings, it's like time to move on, guys. I got dinosaurs in my house. I got 6, 7 lizards.
Yeah.
I mean,
Lizard's a
it's
dinosaur,
crazy.
I think. Yeah.
How funny is it that though that we really could change history if we just made people taller? Like Napoleon is literally the only short person that we've ever talked about in history. And we
Oh,
talk about a short.
really? There's a lot of short US presidents, like very short. We're talk
Okay.
we're talking like maybe a little taller than Brad Williams short.
Well, you know what you're it's amazing. But you know what you're actually making me realize?
What?
The only thing I know, the only reference I was using to history was what Apple TV is put out. And
Oh,
Apple TV has a Napoleon show. So I was like, assuming there's no other short person we've ever spoken of in history. I'm very uneducated.
uh, but no, I just know about the presidents because like I know so much about presidents. So like that was like my thing growing up. Like I was like,
Why? That was
uh,
your thing?
yeah, I don't know. I was just like I was just fascinated with like the history of presidents, not necessarily history in general, just like I don't know, like I was always thinking like how cool would it be to like see George Washington? You know what I mean?
Oh, I thought you were thinking of like being a president.
Oh no,
Instead
no, no.
of being one, you just were fascinated about them.
Yeah, I was just like how cool was their lifestyle, you know what I
You're like
mean?
a you're a president fanboy.
Yeah. I mean if I saw a president now, I probably wouldn't really like ask for a picture or not, but like I'd be like, "Oh, I know everything about him." You know what I mean?
Would you like send them a fan letter with stickers?
No, no, no. No. I just read the
Have you
book.
ever sent a fan letter to anyone your whole life?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. You
I
ever send them letter form or like on emails?
no letter, yeah. And I like my grandfather because I used to be a huge X-Men kid growing up, you know, and they had these action figures. So I wanted a Colossus and Nightcrawler, which are like my two favorite X-Men. And I could never go to the toy store and find their action figures. So I wrote the president of the action figures if he could, you know, so I put $20 and I said, hey, so I wrote it. And my grandfather, I found out years later, but my grandfather wrote me back as the president. And
Oh my gosh.
like he was the sweetest guy, and he gave me the $20 back, and he sent the action figures. So like I was like, holy Lord! So I'm thinking this president of X-Men action figures the
Where did
coolest
he
guy.
find the action figures from?
I have no idea. I mean, but he definitely did some shopping because I'm telling you, it was hard to find. And this was before the days of internet where you could buy on the internet.
Okay. Now I
Yeah.
have a question. Do you feel like you think of that only in the sweetness of it? You don't feel any sort of betrayal of the lie?
Oh no, I 100% do. But I like as a kid, that was like the coolest thing. And then when you're as an adult, you're like, "Oh my God, that was very sweet." But then you're right. Like the fucker lied to me. You know what I mean?
It's like finding out you were adopted and it's like you still were raised well by your like adoptive parents, but like they didn't tell you the truth.
E-
Like, you fucking lied. Even though you did a good job,
Yeah. Yeah. So
you lied.
Yeah, but
Like, no,
he
it's
was
like that.
no, it's
I
exactly
wish you
like
could
that.
see Keith's face. Keith was frozen in. Okay, wait.
Wait,
So,
was it like wait? I could do
so
the
I have
frozen
another
face.
question though, because
Okay,
because I remember your story. Did you ever tell your story on your podcast about your New Balances?
my New Balance, my shoes.
How you how you emailed the or you
Oh
messaged
yeah,
the
yeah.
company? Have
The
you told that
shoes.
story?
No, no.
Do you want to tell it? Because I think I have a question.
Oh sure,
And
yeah.
if you don't want to talk about it, it's fine.
Mm,
But I'm wondering if your grandfather had not given you the confidence that you can write a letter and have it received and validated and then a product actually given to you, do you think you would have had the courage or even the thought to write New Balance?
That's an excellent question. I never thought about that. Well, I didn't write New Balance. I tweeted them. That might be different. You know what I mean?
Or tweeted, which kind of
Right.
feels like the same. But I guess it's easier. There's lower stakes when you tweet.
Yeah. So the New Balance
Lower
story.
stakes for us, higher stakes for the company, though, because
Yeah,
everyone's seeing it.
yeah, that's true. And I think that was probably why it was successful with the tweet because everyone was seeing it. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to have a bad
But right.
reputation or whatever. I don't know.
Now, do you think that in the past, like if it was before Twitter and that happened, do you think you would have written a letter to them about it?
Yeah, definitely about the. Oh, you mean about the New Balance or the X-Men shoes?
Yeah, New
Oh,
Balance.
oh yeah, definitely. I definitely would have. I would have done my part to try. And I didn't. So like the story for the folks at home is, Norm bought me these shoes once, and that was like our thing. Like for Christmas and birthdays, it was buying shoes, and we got the exact same pair. So we had like twinsy shoes. And
Mhm.
then he died. I had his original shoes, and then his original shoes kind of got outworn and stuff. So I tweeted New Balance. I was like, "Hey, these shoes are very sentimental to me. They were Norm Macdonald shoes, so I can't find them anywhere. I was wondering if you could just send me the exact style. I don't care how much it'll cost." And then they tweeted me and they said, it's out of like they don't make it anymore, but they'll make this brand new, So they sent me like 4 boxes of the same style for me because they were huge Norm Macdonald fans.
How
So
cool is that? That's such a
yeah,
good story.
yeah. So I mean, so I have one pair that I decided I would never wear. You know what I mean? Because you can't,
Mhm.
because I don't know if they'll resend them. And then
Right.
I have a pair that I wear when I do stand up, and then I just have a pair for if I'm walking around or whatever. You know what I mean?
And do you have a pair that you have the last pair he gave you that are like scuffed up?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
You should get them framed or something or put in a box or something.
Well, they are in a box. They are shoes.
You know what I mean? Like a
Shoe.
clear,
Yeah,
like, like a box, a shoe box.
a shoe box. But
I'm going to
hey,
try not to. Oh, wait. I was just going to say I'm going to try not to interrupt, but I was interrupting. I'm so bad on Zoom because I'm such an interrupter. I'm going to try really hard.
no, it's fine. Zoom sometimes is very awkward, but it's fine. We'll take what we can get. So plus I could edit.
Can you edit me not interrupting you?
Oh, if I wanted to, sure. But I kind of like being interrupted. I think it's cool.
Ooh, I love that. That's a great thing to hear as someone like me that's an interrupter.
Yeah, because like it's a conversation, you know what I mean? And we should probably start recording now. But
Tell the audience there's been a fake audience. You're like, for the listeners at home, that'd be a funny prank.
yeah. But
The podcast would suffer. The podcast would suffer though, because the juice I feel like is always in the beginning riffs.
really? I feel
Okay.
no, go ahead.
No, I want you to say what
Oh,
you're saying.
I was gonna say I feel a podcast is perfect because like late night, when people interview people or whatever, it's only like 6 or 7 minutes, so you don't really get to know the guest or whatever. And I think a podcast is perfect because it's 30 to 45 minutes. You could really get inside their head, and I feel that's when you become a fan of someone, is when you get to know them more. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I feel podcasters are going to take over late night eventually, like hardcore. Like I don't think Jimmy Kimmel is going to have a job in 10 years.
Or are podcasts over and characters are in?
That's true too.
Characters are having a upswing.
Yeah.
You want to know why? You want to know why?
Why?
Because people feel afraid to say fucked up funny shit as themselves.
Yeah.
So they put a character in and then they say the fucked up funny shit and it totally plays and they're like, it's just my character.
Yeah.
Because it's like you can't, because it's like it's hard for people to differentiate between like if it's like just a joke, are they actually like, or you know how people will be like, well, it's actually like, even if you make this joke, you're drawing attention to the misfortunate, whatever. Does that make sense?
No, it totally makes sense. It's kind of like how Adam Ray is no longer Adam Ray, he's Dr. Phil. You know what I mean?
But and Adam Ray is like a nice guy, so it's like he could never say.
No, exactly. But he's like Dr. Phil now. So like whenever
and now he's Dr. Phil and he's saying fucked up shit. And it's like, it's kind of weird because I think it's so funny because I know how nice he is. So, but it's weird that the audience also gets that.
Yeah. And then, yeah. So characters are in. But see, I'm not someone who could do characters. That's never been
I don't know if I can either. It's like, I want to try. I want to come up with a character, but when I think about it, I like have a panic attack.
Oh, yeah. Can I tell you?
Not a full one, just my inside chest starts going, oh.
It's so funny that you bring this up because can I tell you that I had this weird dream and you were in it actually?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Are you bottomless? Let me first ask. Are you bottomless? It's a Zoom. I have to ask. I forgot to ask.
Oh, yeah. I have shorts on. But so here's the dream. Like, have you ever watched the show called Shark Tank?
Of course.
Okay, so I had a dream that I was doing like a YouTube skit thing, right? And you played Lori, and then like I was like just trying to sell stuff, and like I had other comedians in it, like playing Mark Cuban and all that stuff. And I don't know, that was just the dream. And I thought if I ever film it, you'd be a perfect Lori. I don't know why.
Is Lori the short-haired one or the other one?
She's the long hair blonde one who like
how funny would it be if you had me in a barber, right? If you had me in a barber wig.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That's so funny.
I could redream this dream tonight and have you as Barbara. That's what I'm saying.
I had a dream where someone was saying that why they felt comedy like what used to be so good about comedy that is lost now in comedy is, I wrote it down. Oh wait, I wrote it on my phone. Hold on.
All right.
And I wrote it down being like, is this a real thought? Okay. My dream was that the new generation of comics just go right to it. And the old used to be better because they would take you through a journey to get there and maybe never actually say it.
Yeah, definitely.
Is that true?
I feel that could be true. Yeah, because like that was part of the old school type of comedy is they're taking you on a journey, you know what I mean? Like a path. And then like nowadays, like they just go straight to the punchlines and then, you know what I mean? Like there's no story.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And also like you're like, it's like implying things rather than just saying them.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's true. That's just what someone said to me in my dream last night and I wrote it down. I love when I remember my dreams. It feels cool. It feels like I'm like tapping into my subconscious.
Do you ever have nightmares in your dreams or do you just have dreams?
I've had nightmares throughout my life, like not like consistently, nothing too recent. I have nightmares in life. I have ruminating thoughts at night, but I actually my friend just told me something that helps so much. She just goes, whenever I start ruminating at night, I just go, this is not the time for thinking. I was like, oh, that's all I needed. So then in my head, I just go, we don't think now. And then I try again. I go, no, we don't think now. Rather than engaging with the thoughts and just staying up all night, kind of like, it's always about something so very minuscule, like a to-do list type thing. Now, but the nightmares that I can remember are always something where there's a few different kinds. Like there's kinds where like I've given my twin brother a Xanax and it has a bad reaction with something else he's on and he dies.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically kill my brother. I had one where my dad got shot. And these are nightmares where you're like so happy. You almost like happy you had it because of the relief you have when you wake up.
Right.
Like the joy you feel when you wake up and you realize it wasn't real. Like just so much like sorrow and guilt on the brother one and just feeling like wanting to reverse time. Why did this happen? How could this happen? How could this happen? And then you wake up and you're like, oh my God, it fucking didn't happen. And then I've had nightmares where I like try to fight and I have noodle arms.
Yeah.
And I'm just basically being overtaken and I have no defense. And then I have the nightmares that are like the most kind of annoying to me. And I think I've had the most are I'm like drugged driving, but I didn't like someone drugged me and I'm trying to drive and I'm like trying to push the brake and I can't really push the brake and I'm just slowly crashing into things.
Oh my God. That's terrible.
So annoying. It's like annoying where you're like, you want to be pushing the brake and you can't.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be fucked up, but you're fucked up. And then just being like drugged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you ever like when you take your nightmares, do you ever think, okay, how can I make this nightmare funny? Like in your comic
Afterwards, when
mind?
I wake up, or like I realize I'm in the nightmare.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Which one? Like I'm in the nightmare and I realize I'm in a nightmare?
No, like when you wake up, you could be like, oh my God, that was like the worst nightmare ever. But I can make this so funny.
I think noodle arms are pretty funny. I'm like, it's so funny to have noodle arms to be like swinging around trying to fight someone. I always think something bad's funny afterwards. Once I'm out
Yeah.
of it, I'm always like, it's so funny. I mean, it's
Yeah.
so funny that my brain just made me think I was like slowly crashing into a bunch of cars. And well, that's
Yeah.
hilarious.
But see, that's something wrong with comics like us because like we think that. And like, like when something happens, I feel bad, but then like I think of a joke and then my family thinks I'm just like psychotic or something for saying
Oh, they're
something like
jealous. They're jealous. They're jealous. They're all jealous of us. We have the best lives. Jim Norton said this to me. We're on a plane and he hit on the stewardess and she was like, gave him like a look or a rejection or something. I think, or maybe he was telling me about hitting on someone. And I go, I don't know if he actually said it. I was like, well, aren't you like worried she'll reject you? He goes, no, then I'll get a bit. I don't give a shit. Either the thing works out or you get a bit.
right. Yeah.
Which I forget sometimes. And then I get into like feeling like a victim. I'm in victim mode. Oh, these things aren't working out. And you're like, no. When it doesn't work out, it's a bit.
Yeah. So I don't know like how you deal with getting out of the victim mode, but how I deal with it is like because I always take things too personal. You know what I mean? And like if something's not going my way, I feel like, oh, it's not me, it's definitely them. But how I get out of it is I try to look on the bright sides I have where like, I do stand up. This is something they don't do. I interview, my peers and I learn and I get better. I guarantee you, even if my podcast is not successful, I've interviewed people they will never interview. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I try and think of that like that, where
Now,
like,
do you think that was like a Freudian slip where you said successful?
I think it's very successful because of
No,
it.
sex. You said sex. It was kind of like you
Oh,
put the word
did it?
sex in it.
I thought
Yeah.
I meant to
Do
say,
you feel like you have a sexy pod kind of?
I do have a sexy.
Yeah, you have like a
Yeah.
sexy pod, like a sexy podcast. It's like
Yeah.
successful.
I thought I said successful. I'm sorry.
Thank you for I love the apologies of
Well, no,
respecting God.
well, because it's two different things: successful and then sex. Well, I don't know, whatever.
Successful. It's a very sexy pod. But yeah, no, we're very lucky. We have a very lucky that we have the brains that make things funny, I think. I don't think that's a bad thing. And if people are like I just go, wow, that sucks that you don't have that escapism
Yeah,
that I
yeah,
Well, I look at like my parents, my dad's 83 and my mom's 72. And my dad's like, his balance is off. And we were at this hotel and they were like going on a walk and my dad kept falling into the wall and my parents were like crying, laughing. They like thought it was so funny. And I was like, how much better is that
Right. Yeah,
than
exactly.
if you were like worrying about my dad not being able to walk straight? It's like they were laughing. They thought it was the funniest thing in the world. He kept falling into the wall. I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the move.
You should take them to escape rooms. I think they would really dig it.
I did. Oh, I almost killed my mom. I always thought in like fight or flight, I would save my loved ones.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm selfish as hell. Hell no. We were in this escape room. I paid for the escape room. I paid for a zombie actor to come in. Like I looked the people in the eye, the theater majors, the failed theater
Yeah.
majors, all run escape room. I said, yes, I want an actor to come in dressed as a zombie. Here's an extra $50 or $100. I don't know how much it was. Yes, please have them come in. I slipped when this bitch fucking popped in with lesions on her face. I lost my goddamn mind. I shoved my 7-year-old mom. I shoved her. She could have fallen and broken a hip. I pushed her so hard. I was screaming. I slammed the door on the zombie, hurt the actress. The actress was like, ow. I lost my fucking mind.
Oh my God. I love escape rooms. I'll go to an escape room with you anytime. Like that's
Oh
my
my God,
thing.
I would love to do an escape room.
Oh my God. I
They're
try
so fun. I
I
talk shit on them, but it's like I'm lying.
Oh no, they're so fun. I try and tell TJ whenever I work with him, we gotta do one, but he never wants to go.
He
Because
would be the best at an escape room. He would be so fun in an escape room.
he would be. But I think like I think he just doesn't get it. And I think like he doesn't get it because he's never tried it. You know what I mean?
They seem horrendous. It seems insane. It seems like you're like a fucking escape room. Also, we were just in a pandemic. It's like when I lock myself in a room, I just was locked in a room. I used to do a joke about, well, I guess I still do it, but before the pandemic, it was funnier because I would go, we're being a little cocky about our freedom, are we not?
Yeah.
This is like there were times where we were not free like this, and we're just like, hey, lock us in a room. I'll pay you $150.
Yeah.
But and then it ends up in Auschwitz. But you know how my jokes go.
Yeah.
But they're so fun.
Oh yeah. They're the
And
best.
if there's a missing girl, if they make it like a murder one, if there's a missing girl, we did have you been to what's it called? It's in Santa Fe.
New Mexico?
Yeah, New
Oh,
Mexico. It's New Mexicana. It's fuck, it's like an art thing. Todd.
hi Todd.
Oh my God. Todd's not, he's in the reptile room.
Oh.
Todd, what's the place called that we go to in New Mexico and in Vegas? And it's like you go into the grocery store and you go into the fridge. Meow Wolf.
Oh no.
Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't.
Okay, Meow Wolf is like it's kind of like an artist collective type thing. They started in New Mexico, Santa Fe. Shout out, lived there 7 years. I relate to it as a hometown. Love it so much. Very close to getting a Zia symbol tattooed as a nipple cover.
Oh.
But it's the Zia sign it's on the New Mexican flag, and it's kind of like a hacky thing. If you like move to New Mexico, you get a Zia tattoo, and I always think I want to get it like over my nipple.
Isn't New Mexico very like alienish because like Roswell or something?
It's like, yeah, New Mexico's a lot of things at once.
Okay.
So it's, it was a battle between the Spaniards and the Native Americans, and there's like a lot of weird like a lot of upset kind of underlying there too. I don't know like any of the dates or any of the true things or whatever, but Santa Fe and Albuquerque kind of have their own cultures. Albuquerque, they do a lot of the cops were filmed in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of crime in Albuquerque, and a lot of cops was filmed there, and but it's still really cool, Albuquerque rules. And then there's Santa Fe that's like a lot more hippie, a lot more like it's a little wealthier. It's a lot of people move there to retire. There's a lot of like there's art galleries there, a lot of restaurants, and there's the plaza downtown, and then there's Taos, which there's people that have earthships, which are like houses that are built into the ground, and they're like use solar panels and stuff.
Really?
And a lot of hippies, and Dennis Hopper lived there, and and it's like really kind of like a small population, hippie-ish. And then there's like Roswell where they have the aliens. Then there's a New Mexico, Las Vegas, New Mexico, which is like I think methy. I don't really know. And
Right.
then there's just like all different like parts. There's Indian reservations. It's
Yeah, I've been to there.
casinos,
Yeah.
366. It's really cool. I love it. I fucking love New Mexico so much. I'm always trying to get Todd, like, we gotta buy a house there. We gotta have like part of our life there. And he's never been. And then we watch these true crime docs on YouTube, and they always end up like the worst ones will be like they stop a car, they pull over a van, and there's a woman literally chained into the van.
Oh my
And
God.
it'll be Santa Fe County. And I'm like, oh.
Holy Lord. No,
I
my
don't know that part of it because I'm living a bubble of my own vibration. So I'm just living in the hippy dippy part of it all.
so my biological father used to live in Roswell, and I used to go visit him when I was a kid. So I know a lot about Roswell, but I don't know any of this other stuff you said. Because in Roswell, it's very people are very into this whole alien thing. Like
Well,
so
there's a place Espanola, which did you watch The Curse, the movie, the show by Jordan, the Nathan Fielder movie? I
no.
mean, TV show. It was on Showtime. It was really fucking weird, but it was funny because it kind of made fun of people like me, like the white people that moved to New Mexico and kind of like assume the culture.
Yeah.
I wasn't as bad, but it's very cringe. You really like hate every character in it. It's like so cringe, but it's really fun to watch. It's called The Curse, and it takes place in Espanola, which is like 20-30 minutes outside of Santa Fe. And it's Espanola is kind of like a homeboy, like gangland-ish, but then they also have a Kundalini center there. So it's all these like Kundalini Sikhs, which is like white people with like white wraps around their head and like wearing these like white shawls walking around. It's really funny. And my friend lived there, and she rented a farm there, and they had like white people sweat lodges and stuff. And it was awesome, but it was like definitely like cultural appropriation.
Yeah. Wow. I think New Mexico is the place I want to go to now.
I love it. Now, wait. So you said your biological father. So were you raised by a stepdad or were you adopted?
I was
Or
raised
both?
I was raised by my mom and my stepdad. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Since you were a baby.
Yeah. Yeah. My stepdad married me when I was 3. Like when he married my mom, he also married me.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cute and also gay.
Yeah. So that's why I was thinking
You're
that's the
gay
red.
married to
I was like, yeah, that's
your
a
dad.
I didn't realize this until you just said it, but I always had thoughts like, holy Lord, why am I wearing
If
a
you get
ring?
married, are you gonna have to like divorce your dad first?
I'm gonna have to, yeah. Or just wait for him to die. I don't know.
Now, do you call your birth dad by his first name?
Yes.
What's his name?
Charlie.
Charlie's a great birth dad name.
Yeah. And he's
And he
still
lives
my
in Roswell?
no, now he lives in Wisconsin, but he used to live in Roswell because he always worked at the Chamber of Commerce and stuff. So he'd go to different cities. And I think that's part of the reason why my relationship with him was never very good because every single year he would move and he never would come to California. So it was just when you're a kid, it's very hard. You know what I mean? Doing
Yeah.
that. But
Well, yeah, you want your dad to come to all your shit. You want
yeah,
him to be like dropping you off at school and stuff.
yeah,
So it's hard if they don't live in state. And then it's like if they don't like live, if they're always in a process of moving to a new place, they're never really settled. So did you spend like summers with him?
oh yeah, yeah,
So
definitely.
it's probably stressful because he was like in a new home, like you're always in a new place.
Yeah. But I will tell you the summers that I did spend with them were probably the best times of my life because I always got made fun of at school. So I didn't have any friends. So whenever I'd go to a different state or whatever, it was like nobody fucking cared. You know what I mean?
Fresh start.
Yeah. So like I was like, that was cool. And I wish I did stand-up comedy when I was like a kid like that, because then I could like do these weird open mics and stuff. And I think I'd be 20 times better than what I am now. And I think I'm just okay now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And also, sorry,
No,
someone
no.
called me. Also, if you did stand up, you would be able to uh slam them back in a way where you win.
Yeah, yeah. definitely. I wanted to respect your time though, but I have 3 more questions. Is it
Keep
cool?
going. I'm fine.
Oh,
No, I'm fine. I'm good.
oh, okay, cool. So I wanted to ask you. Well, first I wanted to finish about this escape room thing because I had a brilliant idea for a game show, and I think you would be perfect as the host of it. And I think we should like join forces, and then
I
you can
already like that.
yeah, it's like Fear Factor meets escape room. You know what I mean? Like that's
I
just the
like the idea because escape rooms are really secretive and they have to be because like you can't film content inside an escape room. Like you'd have to like sneak a camera in and it kind of sucks. It's shitty because you don't want to like
yeah.
show because it's puzzles and they don't change them that much because it's a pain in the fucking ass. And
I'm gonna send you a 1-page treatment after
it
this.
sounds cool as hell. But
And
I like the idea of almost an adult Nickelodeon show.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yes,
Yes.
something like that. Uh,
Yes. I actually just met the guy from Double Dare. He did one of Adam Ray's Dr. Phil shows.
yeah,
Mark, what's his name?
I don't know his name.
Do you remember though, Double Dare
I do, yeah, but I don't.
and the slime and
I
everything?
didn't
It
even
was
know his name was
very,
Mark.
but if you saw him, you'd remember everything. He's one of those people like it all comes flooding in. You go, oh my God.
I
You
don't
don't
know
think so? I think you would.
because I don't even remember the guy's name from Blue's Clues. You know what I
But
mean?
I don't either. I thought his name was Blues. Um, first name Blues, last name.
But like I know the face, but I don't know anyone's name. Like it's very
An
you know
adult escape room obstacle course where somehow the stakes are like really high. And you're right, like there has to be some sort of like they have to face fears.
yeah.
They have to be locked in a do you ever watch it's a new what is it called? I love it and I can't remember the name of it. Sorry, I'm a little sleepy.
That's never good to hear as a podcast host. Like,
No, 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 I'm
this
invigorated. I'm
interview is
having so
so
much fun.
boring.
No, no, no. No, I'm invigorated. I'm filled with vim and vigor.
uh,
Um, the only reason I know the term vim and vigor is because my typing class that we had to type that over and over again.
uh,
Vim and vigor, vim and vigor, vim and vigor. But not villains. Fuck. I watch it all the time. It's like my favorite show.
heroes, anti-heroes.
What the hell is it called? It's so embarrassing. I can't remember.
Todd.
In it. Todd. What's the name of the show that I love that I watch in New Zealand and here and Australia? And I want to go on it. What's the name of that show that I love and I want to go on? And I watch the New Zealand version and the Australian version. Traders. I'm not well.
It's called
Traders.
Trader. Oh,
It's
Traders.
called Traders, and they have a thing where they bury people alive, and the team has to find them.
Oh my
And they're
god.
buried. I think I would really freak out, but I love facing my own fears.
Yeah. That is actually one of my biggest fears and one of my nightmares is being buried alive.
But you know what's so funny about that nightmare is what kind of piece of shit would you have to be in your life for someone to like dig a grave and put you in it and then put the
Yeah.
dirt
Yeah.
over? Like you would have to be such a monster. Like it's so crazy to have a fear that's so it's almost narcissistic to think to even have that fear that you would even have such an impact on someone's life that they would dig 6 feet for you to bury you in it.
Or it could be just, just like kind of like because I saw this movie with Ryan Reynolds where that was the whole movie where he was in a coffin, buried alive, and he had to escape, and he didn't escape. I mean, it was an all right movie, but it scared the
Now,
shit out of me.
I'm triggered by you saying that you watched a Ryan Reynolds movie because I'm on another team.
Right.
But
No, I'm
wink,
on the
wink.
same. This was before all this.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I actually
Yeah.
I'm like no longer interested in him to be honest.
Yeah.
But but I never saw that movie. I never
Oh,
saw that movie. And was he not the one that no, it was James Franco that got his arm stuck in the thing. I was like,
right.
why is he in all
Yeah.
these claustrophobia movies? But you asked me a while ago, what do I do to get myself out of victim mode?
Yeah.
I actually have a really good trick and I forgot about it. Whenever I feel triggered, I say I'm twiggered and I talk in a baby voice because I'm actually being such a fucking baby.
Oh my God.
And it's so embarrassing to do a baby voice in front of people that you actually get out of it.
Well, I think that's one of the things I actually do like about you because I've listened to like 3 or 4 interviews you've done, and you are very honest and very vulnerable. And I think that that adds more likability to you. And I think that's what's a beautiful thing about you because a lot of people won't want to do that. You know what I mean?
I feel I have no option, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's never felt like there's an option to not be like 100% myself. And sometimes I'm like, fuck, I wish I had like pulled back a little bit there. But I think my whole goal in life is to stop having those feelings of going, I wish I had pulled back a little bit more and then kind of even be more myself.
Yeah.
I think is where I will shine and reach my full potential.
But it's also like,
But thank you for saying that.
no, definitely. I mean, it's terrible what happened to you, but it's also part of you, which makes you a stronger person. Like that, nothing like that has ever happened to me, but I lost my best friend and I still feel like, but I realize that that makes me stronger too. You know what I mean?
Well, it's also there's this quote, there's this poem this girl wrote where she said, it's like, oh, let me look it up.
All
It's
right.
funny. I tried to read it on Whitney's podcast. I was like on Whitney's podcast and I was trying to look it up. And I was like basically rude, like looking up this quote for this longest time. And then I finally found it. And then I said it and she like didn't like it. And it was so funny. She was like, I was like, how funny is it that I spent 20 minutes looking for this thing?
Yeah.
Um, I love this.
Whitney's my favorite stand-up, by the way. I don't know if I ever
She
told you that.
is just the funniest bitch in the world. Okay, wait, I found it. It's a longer poem, but this is the excerpt I like. It says, and when I turned to face grief, I saw that it was just love in a heavy coat. So when you're sad about like missing someone, it's really, you're just tapping into how much you love them,
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So that's why it's like, I do think it makes you stronger because basically all the hallucinogens I've done, and not to sound so cheesy and like such a fucking nerd, but I mean, we really just are like the real only true vibration. And I do feel like I've kind of died and I know what it'll feel like to die. It's like we just fizzle out into a feeling of love. Like it's just all love. And all this other stuff is kind of stuff we're caught up in so that we like learn lessons and evolve. And
Yeah. But you know what's cool about you though is you're known for being Annie Letterman. I am only known for being an opener of Norm Macdonald. And so like I can never escape that. You know what I mean? Regardless if I
okay, if I was hypnotizing you, we would be working on you stopping saying that. And the only reason that is because you're never going to exceed your own beliefs of yourselves. So
yeah.
if you believe that, then that will be what you always are.
So maybe I think I need you to hypnotize me because I don't want to be in that circle. You know what I mean? I want to be
Yeah,
Keith
I
Reza.
mean, because there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to be more than Norm Macdonald's opener.
Uh, so I got my last 3 questions for you is question number 1. What is your biggest fear that you still have in comedy?
Oh my God. That my jokes aren't good enough. It's not that I'm not a good enough joke writer or that I'm not a good enough comic. It's that I have been lazy and didn't reach my full potential. I have so much fear around my special because I know I'm really good at saving shit in the moment. Like,
Yeah.
and I like live for the live connection with people. I'm really afraid of the idea of like I always think of a fucking like I'm a fucking butterfly and they're pinning me to a damn
Yeah.
like they're pinning me to a page or something. I'm like, I don't, that's what a special like, and that's what I'm actually being hypnotized. And I have a life coach and everything. I'm working on that because I really want to be so when I do put out my special, I want to be so excited and love it and like have it be like an expression of like this thing that I love and this connection that I love, and give that away. But I'm like, I really have so much fear around like it existing without me there.
Yeah.
Version of me that was only that one time, and then being this big thing. I don't know.
Yeah. When I did my special, I felt the exact same way. But then, like, after I finished it, because I don't like watching myself or hearing myself because I think I have a annoying voice, but I can honestly say my special is the best thing I've ever done. You know what I mean?
Very cool. Yeah. I want to say this too, though. I think you should work on self-love and not thinking that because if you don't, okay, think of this. Like if you don't like how your voice sounds and you think you have a shitty voice,
Yeah.
what are you projecting out when you're on? You think that's like what you're projecting out there.
Oh, that's right.
Like you should love your voice,
I
and
have an amazing voice.
it's very common to have self. But that's kind of what hypnosis is, right? Like you find your blocks and then you find out like kind of the deepest level of that. And it usually is like a self-love thing. And most people have that. That's like almost everyone's thing, where
Yeah.
it's just like something, and it's not your fault and it's not even anyone else's fault. It's just when you're a little kid and you're a sponge, just something happens. Like it could even be your dad moving. It's just like little things make you feel like, oh, I'm not, it's just because your brain is just absorbing and absorbing. And then you still are telling yourself the things. That's why I say triggered, because you're still telling yourself the things that you told yourself when you were a little tiny kid to just like survive your day. You're still telling yourself that as a full grown up that's in complete control of your own self, you know? And then so like in hypnosis, it would be like, okay, like finding a way to find out what you're telling yourself, like these underlying beliefs that you're telling yourself that are keeping you from your true goals, which would be to be like known as an autonomous person away from all the people you open for. Even though you love Norm, you want to always be associated with Norm because that's like your connection to him.
Yeah.
But like, and maybe that's part of it. Maybe you're holding yourself back because you feel like he'll really be gone if you step outside of that, you know? Maybe there's something in there. But then you find what your brain needs to hear, that it would need to hear, what those beliefs would have to be that would get you past that block and towards those goals. And then you get hypnotized into a level of theta brain where your brain is most susceptible. And that's like morning and night, right when you wake up and right before you go to bed, your brain goes into theta. And that's when your brain can absorb stuff. So that's when you would listen to a hypnosis. Either your hypnotist would make you a hypnosis, or you would make one for yourself. And it would be like bringing you down into the theta and then guiding you into these beliefs. And it might be, there's a lot of different kinds. It could be like through a story, like, you know, so it's almost like allegorically getting to you, or it could be very direct, like these are your actual beliefs and this is you, and this is, or it could be visual. And then so it's about implanting, when your brain's in theta, those beliefs so that eventually those beliefs take over and then you're operating at your full potential.
Yeah. That's another great idea for the name of the special, Hypnotize. Annie Letterman. Yeah.
I think I got people clucking like chickens.
All right. And then my second to last question is, Annie, what is one thing I could do for you to help you in comedy? Like if I was a huge national headliner, because, you know, we are friends, but I'm all about helping people. What is one thing that you feel you need help with in comedy that maybe I could try and help you with?
If you could just hit up Netflix.
All right. Excellent.
And be like, give her a deal, but not a regular deal. Not a regular deal. I want the Taylor Tomlinson. I want the Nate Bargatze. I know I'm not a clean comic, but I want to be treated like a clean comic.
All right.
Without having to not be clean. Or without having to be clean. I want the billboards. I want the push.
You want the push.
So that's what you could do for me.
All right. I will email Ted.
I want you to call Ted's.
Yeah. Now,
I know you're a good emailer and you always get good results.
Yeah. I will email Ted, and just don't be bummed if a talking teddy bear responds.
Or your grandfather.
Yeah,
is your grandfather alive?
No, he passed. But yeah.
Okay, so I want your grandfather's corpse. This is where we'll dig. See, we'll dig 6 feet. We'll dig him up.
Yeah.
I want your grandfather to respond like the crypt keeper.
Oh my God, that would be.
And give me a deal.
That would be funny and scary at the same time.
I want him to sit up in his coffin.
All right. Well, when it's ready, let me know, and I promise you I will email Ted because I do have a connection to Ted. So,
love this.
And then my last question for you.
I just got your talking bear joke. I just got it.
Thank you. Sophisticated sense of humor. Anyways, My last question for you is, Annie, if you could go into a time machine and talk to a younger version of yourself and tell yourself what you know now, it could be from yesterday, it could be from when you were a kid or whatever. What would you tell yourself?
I would say it's crazy. It's very exciting what's about to happen. I would say life gets really, really, really fucking good. Because I think I could, because of all I know about like brain science and and beliefs and stuff like that and subconscious reprogramming, I think if I had known how good it was going to turn out, I think it would have happened a lot faster. Not that I do believe in divine timing. I think everything works out exactly how it's supposed to work out, but it would have been really cool to know when I was a kid. Because I think I was always kind of just like, I never really like worried about that. I wasn't even thinking about the future. I was just kind of like bumbling through life. It would be cool to know that there's like really good stuff coming
Yeah.
and get a little bit forward focused. But yeah, I mean, it's all worked out really good. But I always think whenever I have anxiety and wish my career was like in a different place than it was, I always think like if I was 14 and someone showed me my life, I would fucking scream. I would be so excited.
Yeah.
It's
Definitely.
so cool. You know? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so glad you said that and you didn't say, Annie, if Keith Reza asks you to do his podcast, say no.
You're impossible to say no to. Anyone that said no to you is a monster. What could they be? It's the easiest. It's a Zoom.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And it's very fun.
Well, where can the folks at home follow and support you? I got your podcast, Annie Wood, which when I was introducing you in San Diego, I kept saying Annie's Wood.
It was hilarious.
So
I was like, I gotta like tell you I'm not trans.
But I was watching my sets the other day and I was like, did I really say that? I know I said it on one show and then I listened to the second show. And I was like, I said it out 4 of the 5 once. And I was like, oh my God, she probably
It was
hates
beautiful. It was the funniest thing. No, I love that. I like things like that. I don't care if people get my fucking intro right. You know what I realized? If I feel like someone doesn't have respect for me and they fuck stuff up, I feel like kind of slighted.
Yeah.
I also feel that way, like, because I was like, do I have a problem like taking insults? Because I'm so good at insulting people, like joking, fucking with people. But sometimes I'm like not good at taking it. And I was like, that can't be. And what I realized is if there's not like a respect established before, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
If I feel like that person like respects me, sees me and understand, I'm so happy to be fucking made fun of by them.
Yeah.
It's like better than a compliment, you know?
Oh.
But I just realized that in hypnosis the other day. So I was like, why does it only bother? Like my dad burns me in a way that's insane.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it because he loves me and he sees me. And I think when people do fuck with you that like get you and respect you, it's like they're showing that they see you.
Yeah.
When they make fun of you, it's like, oh, you noticed that?
Yeah.
You know, it's like cool. But so I don't know where I got to from that, but how I got to that. But that's like I just had this huge realization about it.
I think that's awesome. So where can the folks follow and support you? Instagram?
Oh, that's why I like it Annie's Woods, because I felt respected by you. I felt like we had a mutual respect. So when you kept fucking up I didn't think it was like because you didn't like me.
No, I loved you from the second I saw you because
of course we got along so well. Yeah.
But here's the thing about you, and I'll make this fast, is like you I don't know when you came to LA, but I know you were in New York for a long time. And when I started, because we probably started around the same time, you know what I mean? But you were definitely in New York. And I remember seeing you on like Comedy Central where you told stories and stuff. So I always loved you as a fan. And then I saw you on Midnight. So I always liked you as a comic, but our paths have just never crossed until.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very.
Cross paths with so many people I know too. That's what's so weird.
Yeah, but so like that's what I thought was so interesting because like when I got to work with you, I was like, oh my God, this is awesome because I've always been a fan of you. You know what I mean?
What a fun weekend with TJ. We love TJ. We got TJ in common. I mean, could you love TJ more?
Oh no, dude, TJ has saved my life. Like
I love the TJ.
Yeah, not just with comedy, but also with health. Like he helps me lose weight and he encourages me.
You do look like you've lost weight, by the way.
Oh, I thank you. Yeah.
Do you feel like you have?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, we text each other every day what we're eating and like if we're exercising and stuff. I'm telling you, and here's the thing about TJ is I knew TJ before he was super famous. So I've always
Yeah.
had, you know what I mean? So like we've always had that comedy brother bond, you know what I mean? So like it was just so, I'm telling you, TJ's my favorite person in the world. I owe him so
I
much.
feel like a kindred soul with that man, with you as well. How fun was it to get almost kicked out of SeaWorld? I mean, we've really had some.
I know. And it was mostly your fault, wasn't it? Like,
It usually is. It usually is the thing. Like TJ's not, we can't call TJ hinged.
right.
Okay. But he's more hinged than me, which is actually so crazy to say. It's honestly, I don't even, I actually take it back. I can't say it.
Right.
I can't say it. I think he thinks it, but I can't fully say it.
Yeah. But like, I
Maybe
just,
equal
I
than
just
him.
thought it was funny
But
because
it's usually me. It's usually me. Yeah, that gets me in trouble.
we got a complaint at SeaWorld and TJ was just thinking, what did we say? And I was like, I don't think we said anything. And then we just looked at each other. It was like, okay, it had to be Annie or something.
I made some Harvey Weinstein jokes.
Was that it?
It was. But also it's like, oh my God. If you hear Harvey and you don't think, like, are we thinking Harvey Keitel? Well, fucking bless your heart if you think Harvey and you think Harvey Keitel first. Because I live in a world where I got to think about Harvey Weinstein. I'm in Hollywood, baby, okay?
Yeah.
That's where my association goes, my word association. And I told you, that's what I do. I blurt out, if you say a name, I just start saying all the things I know about that person.
Yeah. That's the Asperger's in you. That's what I love about it.
But I am able to keep, if I'm told there's a secret, I'm able to keep a secret. But you have to tell me.
Oh, yeah.
I don't assume secrets.
Yeah.
I was just thinking there was this comic who I had like sort of a threesome. It was like a weird thing back in our 20s. And I was telling everyone the story. And it was like such a funny, weird story. And she told me to stop telling. She was like, can you stop telling people that was me? And it like hadn't occurred to me that anyone would do something that crazy, not for the story. Like, I was like, ew, did you just do it for the experience? It's like disgusting.
Right.
I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I don't have secrets myself. So there's really nothing anyone could like call me out on publicly that I would be like embarrassed by. There's things that like, I'm like I want to like die down because it's not the vibe I'm going for, but I don't care if they're brought up, you know?
Right. Well, so.
But anyway, Annie's Wood. You can find me on my
Annie's Wood.
And Instagram is my favorite. That's just my name, ANNIELEDERMAN. And I'm on TikTok, but most of my stuff gets in trouble on there. And Snapchat, barely stand a chance.
Yeah.
And yeah, YouTube. And yeah, my tour dates are at annieletterman.com/shows. And I'm coming all over the place. So
awesome. Well, Annie, thank you so much for taking time to talk with me. I love you very much. And
I know, I love you too. This was so fun.
Yeah. And we'll do it again sometime.
Asperger's buddies.
For sure. All right. Say hello to Todd for me. Have a great day.
I will. Thanks, buds.
All right. All right, guys. Subscribe, rate, review, and tell a friend. And we'll see you guys next week on Reza Riffs.